What's up, cartoon lovers? This is the Cartoon Critic, and I'm doing an interview with the EdTech guys from my class. This video is to give not only you, but myself some insight on what people really think about cartoons from way back then till now. Okay? Thanks, you guys. Enjoy. How do you feel about the quality of cartoons today compared to what they were back then?
Well, as always, cartoons change, and most of them go from very innocent to extremely adult-oriented. I see that cartoons that have tried to be uh, directed towards children, they always seem to sneak in things that I really would prefer children not really knowing about.
Okay. What about you, Oscar? What do you think?
I feel like the quality of the aesthetics of the programs have decreased because there's been a huge transition from traditional art cartoons that were just imported to digital
Mm-hmm.
to just straight coming from a digital program like Toon Boom, which actually helps, but it's made the quality of some cartoons kind of lazy.
Okay.
So I feel like we lose a little bit of the aesthetical view because of the digital.
And you?
I think the visual quality overall, in my opinion, has gotten better for cartoons. Like if you look at some of the early things from like the '80s, some of them they have color disfiguration all over the place, and the new ones now they don't have that much problem. But as in stories and different jokes and things like that, sometimes it's you have to be a really fan of this certain type of thing. It's not as broad as it used to be. So it's some ways it's better, some ways it doesn't reach as big of an audience as it used to.
Okay. And Xavier?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say visually they're a lot more cleaned up. There's a better art. There's more variety. Well, maybe a little bit more variety in the art styles. Maybe a little bit smoother animation, but really that just depends on the artist because again the technology today. I mean, we have Flash and everything, but you still gotta draw the people. Story wise, they're just good and bad cartoons, no matter what time period you're looking at.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of the cartoons of the old school superheroes back then, how do you think they compare to the cartoons now? Like, I know Thundercats is a new thing they're trying to bring back. The Green Lantern, Spider-Man, Robin. How do you feel about those cartoons coming back on Cartoon Network?
I think they can do very good as long as they kind of like stick to the core of the characters.
Okay.
When they go off the wall and make the characters completely different or try to make the characters be somewhere like Spider-Man, he's always, like I said before in Ultimate, he's always said like little jokes and stuff like that. But it hasn't been like fourth wall breaking every single time.
Okay.
It keeps it somewhat, it keeps you in the story a little bit.
It was never like a Ferris Bueller cutaway type joke with Spider-Man. He was always making quips during his battles. Actually.
Okay.
Quirky remarks.
Yeah.
Well, how do you guys in general feel about the future for cartoons now? I mean, do you think we're just headed for disaster as far as cartoons go now? Or, I mean, are you optimistic about, cartoons or Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon for the future? I mean, what do you guys think?
It's going to depend on the generation because every generation has something new. So we could end up even devolving back to old school cartoons, well, back to their basics, to, maybe more family oriented, maybe more stiff, as you were saying. You don't know where they can go. I mean, I've seen them go into much more freer, more expressing whatever the artist wanted to say.
Okay.
But
okay. Oscar, what do you think?
I agree with what Ben is saying because the reason why there are the cartoons that I don't like right now is because of the generations behind me like that. So generations behind them, they can flip things back around to the way it was for our generation, and then cartoons will get better. If not, then yeah, I mean, the cartoons will just start going down in quality for me. But there'll always be one or two out there that's just still good.
Okay.
I think overall, it's probably just going to get broader and broader because like now on TV, there's a lot more adult-oriented cartoons than there was maybe 10, 15 years ago. A whole lot more. Like, it was like The Simpsons and Family Guy and others. You have entire block programs dedicated to just that. So overall, I think it's going to probably progress and get better. But at the same time, it seems more cartoons are more focused on ratings now than just artistic. So some shows that have gotten like bad ratings, but critics from all ages, like kids and stuff, they like it, but not watch like, they'll get canceled really, really quick.
Okay.
I want to say that adult cartoons are more ratings based, but as far as kids cartoons, they're ratings based, but you still got to focus on toy sales. But they have been introducing a lot of adult humor into those cartoons. Like I can just cite the whole brony community as far as that goes, and even old school like the Batman series did that a lot, and what was that show on Disney now, Gravity Falls, which is basically just an animated Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And as far as it's like they're trying. I mean, the kids, these kid shows, they seem to be trying to attract an adult audience now. I mean, even now they're bringing back the old Teen Titans show.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to bring that back?
Yeah, coming out in like next March.
That's good. I like Teen Titans. I forgot to mention that earlier with the new cartoons.
Well, do you think that because of the cartoons that you guys grew up with back then affects your idea of what cartoons should be now? Does it make you less inclined to be more open-minded about cartoons now?
I guess in some ways, yeah, I'll be less open-minded because everyone's gonna have this nostalgia factor towards like, oh, this can compare with this. It's just no matter what, it's gonna get that edge, a little bit edge, just because it's something you grew up with and watched for over and over and over again. But at the same time, I think that it pretty much evens out. Like if you try to look at it with an open mind, you're like, well, I can see why that kid will like this or why it'll be funny.
Okay. What do you guys think? Do you agree?
I would say so.
Okay, from an A-Tech perspective, when you guys see a cartoon, what is the first thing that you evaluate based off of that cartoon?
Like when we first see one?
Yeah, whenever, like, okay, new show premiering, such and such showing at 8, 9 Central, and the show comes on.
So like the series premiere, basically.
Yeah, series premiere. And you guys are sitting there watching the cartoon. Not just from a personal perspective, but an A-Tech state of mind, looking at all of the aspects in general, like style, humor, story, plot, all of those things that come into play. What's the first thing you guys notice whenever you watch a cartoon?
Visual style.
Visual style.
Style. Okay.
I think style comes first, and then plot comes second.
Yeah.
And then humor and everything else just adds to it. Everything, if it doesn't have style and plot, what are you going to stick around for? There might be some funny joke every now and then, but I'm not going to sit here and watch a whole episode, just sit here, just one small joke.
Okay. So you guys do the rest of you feel the same way?
I do.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Okay, so does that set your opinion from the cartoon from the get-go?
It may. It just all depends on the show.
It has a chance.
It'll give you that first impression.
Okay.
But
I'd stick around. If it's the series premiere, I'd stick around for the first episode to see where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I've also done the same thing with regular show. I thought it was like really slow when it first started airing, but I was like, you know what, it has potential. Let me give it a chance. After the first few episodes, and I started to really enjoy watching it, and I think that's a big problem now with a lot of people who, especially people who aren't as A-Tech and more inclined to pay attention to details like that. They're more off-putted by cartoons like that when they're not even willing to give it a chance. And that's what I'm arguing about. Because there are some really good cartoons out there that have great style, great animation, and great humor. And in some areas they may be lacking, but nobody's willing to give it a chance. Because you think, oh, old school cartoons are so much better than the ones now. And they can't give an explanation as to why. They're just saying, oh, I hate that show. You should agree with me, disagree with me. And I don't feel that I should agree with you if you're not persuading me to. So, and that's what my blog is about, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give an unbiased opinion, critique on the cartoons. and then give what I think based off of the facts that I present. So that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for helping me out with this, and I'll see you guys later.